Good morning. Here is the news at 10. First, the highlights. Lagos State Government launches domestication of National Women's Economic Empowerment Policy Roadmap. President Tinubu pledges to restore peace, stability across Nigeria. On the foreign scene, Ukraine President signs bill targeting anti-corruption bodies. And in sport, Super Eagles captain Rasheedat Ajibade reflects team's semi-final victory over South Africa at WAFCON 2024. Now the details. I am Dele Agadumo. Lagos State Government has launched the domestication of the National Women's Economic Empowerment WE Policy Roadmap. Speaking at the launch, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu said the development will address structural barriers, foster multi-sectoral partnership and leverage policy framework to unlock the full potential of its women for economic benefits and broader socio-economic development of the state. Representative of the Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Agnes Abraham, urged Lagos State Government to embrace the National Constitution Review and support the clamour for a special seat for women in governance, while decrying the 4.3% women representation at the National Assembly and House of Representatives.
When women are absent from decision-making tables, issues such as maternal health, education access, family care system, and gender-responsive budgeting are often inadequately addressed. As we launch this demonstration, I urge for increased budgetary allocation and institutional strengthening to drive this process with tangible results that uplift women and transform communities.
Earlier in her welcome address, Commissioner for Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Bolaji Dada, noted that despite the economic vibrancy of Lagos, women still face substantial barriers in education, skill acquisition, and participation in both traditional emerging labor markets and industries, as well as agriculture. According to her, the WE policy roadmap will focus on key areas to strengthen women's financial inclusion and literacy, bridge digital divides through technology and innovation to address socio-economic barriers with gender-responsive governance and data-driven strategies.
We see this roadmap as a launch pad to expand our vocational training programs, strengthen micro-enterprise support, foster public-private partnerships, and drive policy advocacy for women in the informal sector. When we empower a woman, we uplift a household, strengthen the economy, and build a more prosperous Lagos.
A 40-member Lagos WE Policy Roadmap champions were also inaugurated with representatives from both government and the public sector to drive the initiative for inclusive economic growth at the grassroots. Lagos State Ministry of Housing has stepped up monitoring of physical and environmental state of government-owned estates to detect infractions, ensure situations capable of causing unwholesome damage to infrastructure, aesthetics, and general livability are quickly nipped in the bud. Commissioner for Housing, Moruf Akinderu Fatai, stated this while inspecting vehicles provided for the monitoring and enforcement unit of the ministry to boost monitoring of compliance to physical and environmental regulations in government estates. According to him, the allottees of government estates are required to observe strict adherence to physical planning laws and obey all laws as regards safety and environmental sustainability. Public office holders have been tasked on the importance of record keeping and intentional service delivery within their domain to serve as guide for upcoming leaders. Chief Whip of Surulere Local Government and Chairman of the Lagos State Chief Whip Forum, Eric Otinwa, stated this when he was presented with an exemplary leadership award and his recent initiative to launch a book, the first by any serving councillor within a local government in Lagos State. Otinwa expressed gratitude to the organizers, describing the recognition as an encouragement to keep pushing the boundaries of effective leadership at the grassroots.
And I want to use this medium to also say this to all incoming councillors and outgoing one, that while you're in office, of course, you need to document, you need to, make research, you need to, because history would continue to emanate itself, will continue to rule. It's what we leave behind that the people that are coming will pick up from. So I just want to encourage everybody, just right there from your little office, you can get some things, document some things, and get some things done for the people that are coming behind.
Earlier, convener of the award, Oluwakemi Oni, explained that Otinwa was selected for his ongoing commitment to community impact and progressive leadership in Surulere and beyond. Now to the rest of the stories. President Bola Tinubu has pledged that his administration will restore peace, stability, law and order across Nigeria, particularly in areas devastated by insecurity and violence. Speaking through the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, at the inauguration of the first phase of the Qatar Sanabil project, a housing scheme for victims of banditry in Kaduna State, President Tinubu assured Nigerians that his government remained committed to tackling insecurity, also declaring that law and order will be restored. The president explained that the housing project, developed in partnership with the Qatar charity organization, was part of the federal government's broader agenda to rebuild communities and support families affected by violent attacks. In response to a wave of deadly attacks on farmers across the country, the military has intensified aerial and ground patrols to safeguard agricultural communities and boost food security. Reports from incidents between January and July 2025 reveal a grim trend of violence targeting farmers. In April, the notorious bandit leader, Bello Turji, was reportedly behind the killing of 11 farmers in Sokoto State. Amid rising public concern over these attacks and their implications for food security, Director of Defense Media Operations, Marcus Kiange, assured that the military is actively working to protect farmers across the country. Kiange troops are conducting aggressive foot and aerial patrols across farming communities in all theaters in order to guarantee security for the farmers. The military's intervention comes as stakeholders warn of a looming food crisis if urgent measures are not taken to secure farmers and their lands from violent threats. Now to foreign news. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has signed a bill that critics say weakens the independence of Ukraine's anti-corruption bodies, sparking protests in several cities and drawing international criticism. The new law grants the Prosecutor General control of the National Anti-Corruption Bureau and Specialized Anti-Corruption Prosecutor's Office, and critics say it undermines their authority. In an address, Zelensky said both agencies would still work but needed to be cleared of Russian influence. After the bill passed, hundreds of people gathered in Kyiv for the biggest anti-government protest since the start of Russia's full-scale invasion in February 2022. Demonstrations were also seen in the cities of Lviv, Dnipro, and Odessa. In our sport, Super Falcons captain Rasheedat Ajibade has reflected on the team's thrilling semi-final victory over South Africa. The 9-time champions defeated South Africa 2-1 to book a place in the final of the 2024 Women's Africa Cup of Nations. Ajibade opened scoring for Nigeria from the penalty spots late in the first half. South Africa got themselves back into the game on the RMAC, also via a penalty, when Osinachi Ohale pulled down Hilda Magaya inside the box and Linda Mothalo converted from the spot. Right back, Michelle Alozie won the game for the Super Falcons late on with a long-range effort. Ajibade said they were expecting a difficult test against Desiree Ellis' side. The Super Falcons will face host Atlas Lionesses of Morocco in the final of the Olympic Stadium at the Olympic Stadium in Rabat on Saturday. And that was the news at 10. Just before we go, always drive within the specified speed limit. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X at Traffic Radio 961, Facebook Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch our news and programs live on YouTube at Traffic Radio 961. Visit our website on www.trafficradio961.ng. You can also listen to Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM live on My Lagos app for timely updates. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration strengthened alliance with 200 representatives from various women-focused NGOs in the state as part of efforts to alleviate the economic plight of women residents in the state? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. To end the news are the highlights of the major stories. Lagos State Government has launched the domestication of the National Women's Economic Empowerment WE policy roadmap. President Bola Tinubu has pledged that his administration will restore peace, stability, law and order across Nigeria, particularly in areas devastated by insecurity and violence. Also told you that Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has signed a bill that critics say weakens the independence of Ukraine's anti-corruption bodies, sparking protests in several cities and drawing international criticism. And in sport, Super Falcons captain Rasheedat Ajibade has reflected on the team's thrilling semi-final victory over South Africa. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That is the news broadcast compiled by Zainab Adibeshi. I am Dele Agadumo. Good morning. Thank you for